From November 14th to 21st, we're inviting you to join us for a powerful trip to Ghana. This isn't just a vacation. This is a chance to walk through the same places where many of our people were captured, held, and shipped off into slavery. So don't wait. Secure your spot today. We're making history by walking through it. Will you be with us?
I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen all the footage that has been coming out of Los Angeles, California, with ICE as of yesterday, at the filming this video, which would be yesterday, which was Friday. ICE had raided particular places in Los Angeles, California, to a lot of people's shock. And it was a lot of chaos that happened out there, and they were grabbing people up, dragging them away, getting into it with protesters. And I see one video of a guy try to get in front of one of the vehicles ICE had, and ICE almost ran his behind over. It was crazy, right? I mean, these dudes aren't playing. They don't care. They doing whatever they mission is, just to get people. But you had a woman who really seen this in Los Angeles. She is a Mexican woman. And she had a small message to us as FBAs. Let's go ahead and check that out.
I just want to say, watching these raids happen in LA right now, people voted for this. People voted for this. And I think right now, the Black and the brown community, we need to come together. And we need to remember that they are the ones who made it us versus them. They put us against each other, because if we're busy fighting each other, we don't put our eyes on them. We need to wake up. Everybody needs to wake up.
Well, ma'am, let's just have a conversation, because maybe you just don't, maybe you don't know. Maybe you just kind of been, maybe you in the house. I don't know, right? You seeing all of this and you say, wow, what has happened here? First of all, you're calling on a Black and brown people to come together. I'm going to definitely get to that part, but let's get to the reality. President Trump, when he ran for office, he said he was going to stage the largest mass deportation event in U.S. history. He repeated it on the campaign trail constantly. He kept saying they have to go. They got to get out of here. He kept saying that over and over and over. People at his rallies had mass deportation signs and all of that. And ma'am, people within your community was at those rallies celebrating Donald Trump, right? You remember the Cubans were singing, "I'm a vote for Donald Trump"? And they were dancing and all that. Do you remember that? Now you may say, well, hey, that's them Cubans. I'm not Cuban, I'm Mexican. It don't matter. In the system of white supremacy in this country, all of you the same. They don't care about that. To them, all y'all speak Spanish, they don't care. Bottom line. What they're saying is, you got to go. Now, you could talk about Trump. You could even talk about, the white supremacists. But, ma'am, your community bear some responsibility. Now, you may say, well, what is he talking about? Let's look at what I'm talking about. Check this out. I'm always going to show this when I make content like this, responding to, people calling all of a sudden, now you want to do Black and brown? When Donald Trump was promising mass deportations, if you look at this screen here from the election, and we're going to go focus on the Latino community, 54% of the votes from the Latino community went to Donald Trump, and 44% went to Kamala Harris. Now, if anyone has betrayed you, ma'am, it would be your men, for sure. Your men who would suffer probably more deportations, because a lot of them are on the job sites. They voted for this. Now, some of you may say, well, the people who voted is the ones that got citizenships here. Don't matter. That's part of your community, okay? Your community voted, the men of your community. So if anybody betrayed you, is actually the men of your community that voted for that. Okay. When Trump promised this. Now, I will say the women voted 58% for Kamala Harris. They wouldn't have did mass deportations on you. And you know, I don't support Democrats, but I have to be a realist. She wouldn't have did that. And 39% of your women voted for Trump. That's extremely high. Now, Donald Trump would not have been president. I promise you, he would not. If y'all would have mirrored the numbers, even if the numbers black people voted, right? If Hispanic women would have voted 92% for Kamala Harris, and if Hispanic men would have voted 77% for Kamala Harris, this wouldn't be happening because Donald Trump would not have won the 2024 election. You could never count on white people. Come on now. You know you never can count on them. If you're sitting up there counting on them, you about a fool and a half at this stage in the game, right? But here's the thing. So that's the personal responsibility that your community going to have to take. You can't, like I said, you can't point at other people right now. You got to look within your community first. Now, let's get to this black and brown talk. Now you talking about black and brown? Now here come the black and brown. Oh, you know, they the one cause the division. We are not going to sit here and put this all on white folk. No. Remember George Lopez? What did he say? In a lot of things they say in comedy is also based in reality. 2 things you don't do: park in front of our house and bring home somebody black. George Lopez is Mexican. He said that. Did y'all come at George Lopez for saying that? Now, black folks had an issue with it, but did y'all as a community come at him and say, hey, man, stop lying on us and things like this, right? We know in Latin America, there is heavy racism, colorism. We know this. The lighter you are, the more you celebrate it. The darker you are, the worse you're treated, whether you are black or even the indigenous people there who are just as dark as I am. Y'all don't even, in y'all governments, y'all don't let the people who look like me run anything. Look at all the presidents that they have, even in Mexico. They never dark. They all the lightest ones they can find. You understand what I'm saying? It's not just there. It's all of Latin America. I think Colombia is the only place that has a black vice president. That's the only one in Latin America. And I'm shocked she got in that position, right? So y'all gonna have to take personal responsibility with your own internal self-hatred. That's not our issue, our problem, because we got our issues. Now, with black and brown, for years, FBAs and our activists speaking, and we didn't tell them to say this, they were saying black and brown, black and brown. Hey, black and browns will come together. Hey, we need to work together. Black and brown, black and brown, black and brown. And I'm not saying every individual was against it, but we talking about in the area of collectivism. I could honestly say collectively, a lot of black people collectively wanted to have a black and brown alliance. But on the brown side, you did not want an alliance collectively. I'm not saying some individuals wasn't down with it, but we talking about on a collective basis. All your organizations like LULAC and all these big organizations, you didn't want it. You wanted to, no, y'all always talking about race. I don't want to hear nothing about no race. Every time with y'all's race, just work. I just want to work. I don't want nothing to do with anything with that race. I don't see this racism y'all talking about. I just go to work and making us like we crazy. Like we just run off at the mouth about what we know about this country that we have been in, that we built. And now all that race talk now is at your front door, literally, and dragging you out the door. That's what all that race talk is now. So when you tell us that we're race baiting, all we do is talk about race, when you're calling us lazy, okay? And that's one of the most offensive things you could tell to an FBA, especially as an immigrant, that we're lazy. Do you know let me explain to you when we became lazy. We became lazy after slavery. When we stopped working for them for free and say, hey, you're going to have to pay me something, bro. Oh, you just lazy. I'm lazy because I want money for my work. I'm lazy. So even if you fast forward today, black people are lazy. No, black people say you're going to pay me. And because these people are so used to stealing labor from somebody, because they're the real ones who lazy is the folks actually. That's if y'all really want to, y'all should do a deep dive on that. They're the lazy ones because they're deporting the Latinos, but you don't see a bunch of them flooding these farms to go work them, right? Right now, they're talking about in Louisiana, they trying to come to black people to work those farm jobs because the Latinos either leaving or getting deported, and they only pay them $11 an hour to go work in 100-degree heat. Black folks, listen, no, we did that for free 250 years. Ain't happening. You looking up the wrong one to do that work. I promise you that. Man, going on those fields, working for y'all of all people, that's just like, that brings up ancestral trauma. Going on the field working for y'all. I don't know any kind of amount of money would have. Only time black people probably be cool to work in the farm unless it's owned by a black person. If it's a black farmer, I don't think we have an issue because there's no ancestral trauma there. But looking up and seeing the folks in the farm and just sitting there watching black folks work like, oh, no. We just, no. You understand? So, ma'am, you want black and brown because you're in trouble. And that's even more offensive because when there always been troubles, but when you wasn't in trouble, you didn't want to hear talk about no black and brown. And I'm not saying you, ma'am, in particular, but your community, some of them were siding with the anti-black racists against us. In LA in particular, how many people in your community has been police officers in LAPD, LA County Sheriff's Department, and have been part of white supremacist gangs in LA and in LA County? And they have targeted black folk. And I did not see your community, ma'am, in LA come out in droves to say, hey, that's not a representation of our community. This person needs to go to jail. This person needs to this it. Ma'am, no. We go back to Nuri Martinez and what she was saying and all of them in the city council. The people who came out the most was the FBAs and the Oaxacans, which is the indigenous people, because she was talking about the Oaxacans as well. The Oaxacans is in Mexico, right? They're very dark. And she was talking crap about them. Nuri Martinez, that light-skinned, almost white-looking type of Mexican that take issues with the Oaxacans and FBAs and people like that, right? Where's what's that guy, Kevin DeLeon? Where he at right now? They was talking crap about FBAs and the Oaxacans. Where he at? Where's Nuri Martinez? Where's she at? I know she got off the city council, but where's she at right now? She not saying nothing? All that big talk they was doing about black folk on that tape, where they at to defend your community? See, ma'am, we're not going to be doing that no more. Listen, we're done. We tried to ally with your community. We tried to ally with the Asian community. And everybody say, no. Y'all always talking about race. Y'all lazy. Y'all this, y'all that. Everything is repeating stereotypes, coming from racist white folk. Just. And then when you see in the election and what happened in the 2024 election, even the most hardcore Democrat shills was said, hey, I'm done. I'm done with this POC crap. I'm done with this BIPOC crap, because when every single time it's time to come out and actually have a coalition, these people screw us over every time. That was y'all last group of people that supported y'all, was the Democrat shills, and you pissed them off. Because when they saw that result after the 2024 election, they were done with you. And I'm proud of the Democrat shills in the black community to say, I'm done. And they even said, I'm not saying nothing unless it has to do with black folk at this point, because nobody care about us at all. And y'all gonna see what happens. And Trump ain't been in office not even 6 months. This man ain't been in office 6 months. You imagine how it's gonna be by the time the end of his term? Oh, it's gonna be sorrow. It's gonna be a lot of sorrow, not on us, because let's call it what it is. All them tactics they're using, they did that to us. That's nothing new for us. We say, oh, that's it. The jump out boys and dragging people, slamming people, doing things to kids, doing things to women, no mercy, not even act like they're human. Oh yeah, that happened to us. Especially during the crack era, that really happened. Look at what they did to us during every time we had an uprising, how they treated us. That's nothing new. Be honest with you, they still not as hardcore on you like they did to us. They not really doing you what they did us. They still being a little held back a little bit. Because they haven't really unleashed on y'all yet. I'm going to say yet. Because I'm watching your TikToks, and some of you are making these little kind of low-key threats about what y'all gonna do. As an FBA, I'm telling you, they want you to do it. Now, that's me just giving you some advice. They ready for you to. They hope you do. Because at that point, the gloves gonna come off. And y'all don't understand, Trump's in office. Trump is very good at media spin. Biden wasn't good at that. Obama wasn't good at that, but Trump is. And the moment one of y'all, just one of y'all do something that he could use, he gonna spin it, he'll get his base going, and then it's gonna be all hell break loose on y'all. And then the majority of people will be like, yep, I support it because look at what they doing. Look how violent they are. That's what he waiting on. Y'all would run off at the mouth like y'all doing online? Okay. Don't say Brother Phil didn't warn you. And with FBAs, we just like, yeah, we didn't see this. This a remix to us. It's nothing. This is nothing. But no, you can't call for black and brown now, ma'am. Sorry, you can't do that. You should have accepted black and brown a long time ago. Matter of fact, if you would have listened to black people and it been on a true black and brown, none of you would not be suffering right now. You chose to reject. You chose to reject unification with black people. You chose that. You chose as a collective to only worry about yourself. You were selfish. Right? We told you in this nation, it's a lot of racism and it's going to visit your doorstep. And have y'all noticed the moment that we stepped back and said, hey, we're not dealing with it no more. Y'all on your own in this country, everybody starts suffering. And I'm gonna tell you this, God been waiting on us to step back so people could really see what we were talking about. Even the folks are dealing with the problems. They dealing with it too. And the best thing we have ever done was delineate and step back and chill our nerves and just watch the show. That's the best thing black folks ever did. We don't have the stress that these other people have, believe it or not. We don't. People asking, what black people at? In our house. We watching. We watching. We came out for George Floyd. You came out not because some of you maybe came out because you thought it was horrific, and it was horrific. The whole world thought it was horrific. But let's think about it. During the pandemic, you was on lockdown. A lot of you had cabin fever, and you were angry. And so you came out, and a lot of you used George Floyd to vent your anger at the government. A lot of you didn't care about George Floyd. Let's call it what it is. A lot of you did. A lot of the folks was out there too. You know, they didn't care about George Floyd as a collective. I'm not saying some didn't, but as a collective, they didn't care about George Floyd. They was upset because they were locked down too. They were losing their businesses. They were losing a whole lot of things during the pandemic. So what I'm saying here is the time to have black and brown was in the past. It's a new day. The only thing I can tell you is, what's that old saying? Suck it up, buttercup. And you got a wild ride ahead of you. You know, your community, I mean, they voted how they wanted to vote. They chose not to ally with black folk.